Well, hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. Today's video is a little bit different though. However, we are sticking to life in the garden, but a different kind of life. If you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm not bashful at all about making it known that I'm a Christian, that I believe that the death of Jesus saved us from a terrible existence after our lives, and this life is not the end. And it's a lot to do with hope, and that's really where things come into on this particular video. So bear along with me on these rare videos when I have a random thought that comes to my mind and share with you. Before we start though, did you know that originally God planned to use wasps in the garden as primary pollinators? Instead, he went with Plan B. Plan B. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So as I'm out in the garden and have been for the past 4 years, there's so frequently times when I'm out there and I just see something out there that just teaches me a lesson about God in my life and who he is to me. And sometimes it just excites me. And I've had this series of videos on my mind for quite a while now. And this will be the first one. And really it comes down to, throughout the narrative of my whole life, I can't help but believe in the promises I read about in the Bible. And I've lived through some pretty dark places that our society has to offer in the past few decades and growing up. And the thing that really spurred me on is the hope that we hear about in the Bible. And in fact, in Philippians chapter 1, verse 6, it says, "Being confident in this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." And what that says to me is that it may not look great right now. Sometimes my story looks ugly. It has looked ugly. But God is not done with me yet. We need to be patient. We talk about that in the garden so often. We got to be patient and see what happens and look at what's growing. And we don't stick those seeds in the ground and expect them to be up the very next day. We have to be patient. God is not finished with me yet. I'm a work in progress. Not my own effort, but by the one who knows me best. And that's God and Jesus working it through him. And it's really evident in the garden when we look at these things. We grow the seeds and then they germinate and then they start growing and they get bigger and things start filling up. And as these things grow, eventually they start growing fruit. We get cucumbers and melons of all kinds out of the garden. And it's just very exciting to see that. And we know that there's so much more to life because of this. And I know in Romans, it says, "Rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer." And to me, that means that we are full of hope as a Christian and that things will get better. The story's not over. And here's where it comes down to in the garden. Only someone with hope is going to plant a garden. We don't plant a garden and not believe that things are going to grow. And I frequently say, God made these things to want to grow. They want to grow. This is kind of funny. You may or may not have heard the stories about the poop tomatoes. People accidentally plant tomatoes all the time. If you go down to the sewage treatment plants, there's tomato plants growing everywhere because when people eat tomatoes, the seeds go through their system. They end up down there at the sewage treatment plant, and there's gardens and gardens of tomatoes by all the sewage treatment systems. If we can plant a garden by accident and not even trying, then we can plant a garden. And in fact, someone without hope will say things like, "I have a brown thumb," or like Mrs. Bowtie used to say, I have a black and crispy thumb. She doesn't anymore, but we have so much ability to learn. There's so much hope, and that alone, and me, my life has been like that. That alone is just shows so much hope. And another verse, that I'll read a couple more verses and then I'll be done here. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of all things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And we plant those seeds. We don't see the germination yet, but we hope and we have faith that it's going to grow. And because we have that faith, we know that there's other things. Faith is not just unique to plants. And then here's my favorite, one of my favorite verses. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that the power of the Spirit may abound in hope. And what I like here is the title they give God. And I believe God is the God of love. God is the God of hope. God is the God of salvation. And the God of hope is here for us to grow, to become better people. Anyway, if you would like to stay up with some more episodes of this particular series, please subscribe to Bowtie Life. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate the heroes that have subscribed and are help growing the network that we're trying to build. And appreciate everybody watching, especially if you're watching to this point, because that's telling the search engines and the algorithms that this is something worth watching and it's something that we can believe in. It may be something that we can hope in. If you don't believe, you don't have to agree. You're on your journey too. And I pray that your journey takes you to a good place. If you thought this was entertaining, inspirational, educational, or informational, please click the thumbs up and share it with your friends on social media. Have a blessed day.